on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
Spartans! What is your profession?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
It's time!
New Day with SSJ is presented by Walker Medical Linen Services, locally owned and operated, HLAC certified to the highest standards. Walker has partnerships with hospitals, surgery centers, and medical clinics in and around the metro area. Walker Medical Linen Services in Kansas City and online at walkermls.com.
Chiefs.
He's doing a nice job. We weren't sure quite how much we were going to be able to get out of him, but he looks strong. He's been jumping in and taking the team reps now, with which he was just doing the individual stuff before. And you can definitely see the talent. He's got to keep learning and learning the stuff that Andy's teaching him, and fundamentally technique-wise. But he sure has a good attitude about it.
The Kansas City Royals.
A slow roller to India, and he'll take the easy out, and the Yankees get a runner in scoring position with 2 down. And that is a walk to put 2 on for Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt lines it off the glove of Pasquantino. It trickles off the infield. He's going to beat the throw there, and they have Reyes caught between home and third. No tag. Ball gets away. Reyes scores. Yankees have a 1-0 lead on a wild play that ends at the plate.
And the Royals almost caught a huge break when Vinny went to first rather than go to the plate. Reyes was rounding third, and he stopped.
He stumbled, stopped. Yeah, he stumbled, stopped, and then just couldn't finish it. Tough chance there.
Stop and start and gets there at the end of the day.
Rice goes to third, and the Yankees have taken a 1-0 lead.
So up comes Jack Caglione.
3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. And the pitch. And it is in there, called strike 3. That's the ball game. Yankees win it 1-0. Williams gets the save, and the Yankees sweep the Royals in Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, the ball was hit well, tipped off Vinny's glove. I think in a perfect world, once he picks it up, he probably just gathers and goes to the plate. But, you know, understanding that he still thinks with a slower runner, he's got an opportunity because of how hard that ball was hit. And then once Ursig has it, you give it up to Freddie as quickly as you can, you know, knowing that, I'm assuming he saw that Reyes had fallen down or tried to get back, whatever he was trying to do. So, you know, I think Lucas was thinking he was going to get him going back towards third as opposed to just give it to Freddie and let him handle it.
Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend Friday.
Oh, we finally here, right? It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday.
It's Friday again. It's Friday, Sunday. It's Friday again. It's Friday, Sunday.
It's Friday again. It's Saturday, Sunday. It's Friday again. I thought the hands of time would.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Every day this microphone is a new experience. Hello. It's Friday, June 13th, Friday the 13th, 2025. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Stan Weber will be in studio with us coming up in the next segment. Jeff Penner will give the forecast for the weekend. Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day. Pete Sweeney will be with us from Arrowhead Pride to talk about OTAs and what took place yesterday out at Arrowhead. And then Tim Grunhard will be in studio. That's crazy. Didn't expect that. So maybe I should shut my mouth until I actually see him here because you never know. So Tim Grunhard scheduled to be here in the 9 o'clock hour. That's great. Oh. The nightmare came early for the Royals. Didn't have to wait till Friday the 13th because that was an awful 3-game series against the New York Yankees. What a terrible, 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 terrible series. Swept by the Yankees again. So now they face the Oakland A's. So if you're looking to measure the Royals based on how they looked against the New York Yankees, they failed that test. And look, the Yankees are really good. The Yankees, I mean, they might be the best team in the American League. Detroit might be the best team in the American League. Who knows? At the end of the season, the Yankees might be the best team in baseball. Might not. Might lose to, you know what? Yankees might not be the best team in New York. Who knows? The Mets are pretty damn good. But clearly the Yankees are championship contenders, and they are one of the best teams in baseball. And they are clearly better than the Royals. No matter how you want to look at it. They swept the Royals twice this season. The Royals go 0-6 against the Yankees. And that sucks. Especially after losing to the Yankees in the ALDS last year. Where honestly, it didn't feel like the gap was gigantic. It felt like the Royals could close the gap with a good offseason. It doesn't feel that way anymore. It doesn't feel like the gap has narrowed. It feels like it's widened. And that's disappointing. Look, the Royals many times in this series were their own worst enemies. I mean, they lost 1-0 on just a dumb play all the way around. They gave away a run. Now, I'm not going to tell you that lost the game because I don't know how many innings they would have needed to play for them to score a run. You got to score a run eventually to win a game. Didn't look like they were interested in doing that last night. But you want to hear a god awful stat. I got one for you. Joel Goldberg posted this on X last night after the game. Royals lose 1-0 on an unearned run in the 8th on an infield single and throwing error by Lucas Ursig. We saw it. We know what happened. Okay. They finish 0-6 versus the Yankees this season. That sucks too, right? Okay. But you know that. That's not the stat that I'm going to throw at you that'll make you barf. Well, that should make you barf that they went 0-6 against the Yankees. You know, don't let me tell you what makes you puke. It's up to you. But I think it's pretty obvious that the Royals are extremely challenged when it comes to hitting with runners in scoring position. They get opportunities, but they rarely capitalize on them. And, man, that would, to me, that just has such a domino effect. Because if you, like last night, if you have an early opportunity to score runs and you don't come through, that puts more pressure on the lineup, that puts more pressure on your starting pitcher, eventually more pressure on your bullpen to be perfect because there's no margin of error because the Royals can't score. It's just mind-boggling because they get opportunities, right? There's opportunities there. Think about it. Think about how many times the Royals have had runners on base, runners in scoring position even. And they very, very rarely come through. And especially against the Yankees. Against the Yankees, they never come through. And so it's when you read this stat, it's almost unbelievable. And Joe Goldberg is a trusted source. But it makes you think, oh, Joe Goldberg must have fat fingered that tweet. That can't be right. Well, let me go check real quick. Oh. Okay. Well, all right. So, the Royals finished 0-6 versus the Yankees this year. With runners in scoring position versus the Yankees, 1 for 31. In this 3-game series, they were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position game 1, 0 for 5 game 2, 0 for 5 last night. And so that's 0 for 17 in this series with runners in scoring position. Think about that. They went 0 for with runners in scoring position in this series. So it's not like they don't have opportunities. But like in this series, they never came through. They never took advantage of the opportunities that were in front of them. So that's the opposite of clutch. Whatever clutch is, that's the exact opposite. I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. That's wild to me. That's awful. That you don't need to dig much deeper as to why they struggled so much against the Yankees. They had opportunities last night. And nobody can come through with a big hit. With a hit with runners in scoring position. How? How's that possible? That's god awful. 0-6 against the Yankees this year. 1 for 31 with runners in scoring position. I mean, I'm beyond words. It's just, at some point you got to come through. At some point you got to, I don't care if there's 2 outs. You got to come through with a big hit. You got a runner at second. You got a runner at third, whatever. You got a couple of guys on base. I mean, at some point, hit one in the gap, clear the bases. I know this is going to be crazy. This is a crazy idea. Hit one over the wall. 1 for 31 and runners in scoring position. 0 for 17 in this series alone. I mean, you can't win baseball games like that. Pitching was good enough. Pitching was terrific. Seth Lugo was really good. They had one awful sequence that led to the run given up.
Can't do it.
But that's, and that's the point. There's such a fine line. There's such a small margin of error that something like that can cost you the game. And with this team and like last night, one run seemed like 10. Like, oh, well, one run. There it is. It's over. And so when the pitching does its job, the offense doesn't. And when the pitching doesn't do their job, the offense still doesn't. It's wild. Just haven't seen anything like it. I'm sure I have, but in recent memory, it's stunning. Their lack of success and their lack of execution when they have runners in scoring position. It's mind-boggling. So, I don't know. I have no answers. I mean, you watch that play last night, just like you shrug your shoulders, say, of course. Of course. Guy stumbles, rounding third base. Why Vinny threw the ball to first base? Urseg makes a bad throw home. It's super frustrating, but in the grand scheme of things, that play is a small problem because that shouldn't beat you. But with the way the offense is going and the inconsistency, that does beat you. And look, and when you do get runners on base, you don't score. You flat out refuse to get hits. So that, what do you want me to tell you? Jake, you were out there?
Oh, boy, was I.
Does your niece and nephew hate baseball now? Hey, thanks, Uncle Jake. This is really exciting.
Well, honestly, so both of them, they're both 10 years old, and they both have been to several baseball games with me and my brothers, their fathers and uncles. The most exciting thing that happened last night for them, they'd never seen a tarp go over the field during a game.
That is exciting. It
Honestly,
can be exciting.
They're like, we've never seen the tarp before.
Look at the grounds crew.
We sat through the 25-minute, 30-minute rain delay, and that, for them, was the most exciting thing that happened last night. I'm not lying. They turned to me and said, there's a tarp? And they put this tarp on the field? Oh, man. Yeah, no, it was hard to watch. And it felt inevitable. Lugo was going. Like you said, they had opportunities, and they just shot themselves in the foot, whether it be, Cags rolling into a double play with two guys on, or it just over and over again. Lofton gets that triple. No one can get him home. It's frustrating, and like you said,
and you don't expect anyone to get him home.
Right. That's why it feels inevitable that they're going to fail. And like you said, have we seen anything like this before? Well, maybe, because we've seen some bad baseball. But the frustrating part is, we shouldn't be seeing this out of this group of players. We see things like that happen with the bad group of players. This shouldn't be happening with this team. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. But like you said, it's kind of it gets momentum and it festers itself into these guys have no confidence when they're at the plate that they're going to get somebody home. We as fans don't have confidence, so they don't.
They faced a pitcher in Will Warren who had an ERA of around 5, and they faced a lineup without Aaron Judge, and they blow the opportunity. Can't lose that game.
No. It's bad.
You had a chance to avoid the sweep. Judge isn't playing.
Austin Wells isn't playing.
The
Royal Killer.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, yeah, when we got the ballpark, saw the lineup, I was like, oh, this is great.
Is it?
No Judge, no Austin Wells. I mean, for the Royals. My nephew was a little disappointed he wasn't going to see Judge, but he saw him last year.
I saw Judge strike out.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he did.
No, I thought about that. Like, wow. I wonder how much your niece and nephew hated that experience.
Oh, no, we had a great time.
Did you?
Yeah, we really did. It was great.
Because I would not have had a great time at that game.
No, we kept them entertained. Got them some food.
Yeah, I guess if you're a kid that they're all wrapped up in wins and losses and runners in scoring position or anything like that.
No.
You can do things for them at a game that will.
I mean, we stayed in our seats almost the whole time. Besides,
Oh, I would not have. I would have been like a 10-year-old kid. I said, okay, I'm gonna go walk around. I can't watch this crap.
We walked around for a little bit, just to, went to a couple different concession stands.
Yeah.
Hey, you want barbecue? No. You want some? Ended up getting some chicken fingers, a big pretzel, burgers.
That's a shame too, because you had a great opportunity to play good baseball.
Yeah.
In front of lots of fans against one of the best teams in the league, and you just went out there and laid 3 turds, one right after another. And now you're under 500.
And then mixed in all this 3-game set, Cole Riggins goes on the IL.
Yeah, and he's not coming back anytime soon.
Right. All right, so it's like that's the extra kick in the groin.
He's not coming back anytime soon.
But this team is resilient. They've shown they can bounce back. So, it's a big series this weekend. I mean,
Well, they're all big series.
Yeah, moving
now
forward,
because
absolutely.
you can't keep digging a hole like this.
Yep.
And I think, based on everything I've heard, based on the vibes I get, I still think, at least right now, they still plan on going out and trying to make a move and trying to be aggressive and trying to add to the team.
Yeah, I mean, they're still in the wild card.
You also have to play well enough
to justify it.
And they're not.
Right.
This is a long stretch of not good baseball.
Yeah.
Of subpar baseball. And so yes, they need to. It's the middle of June. They need to quickly turn things around and show the front office that no, hey, we're not falling apart, because it feels like they're falling apart, and they shouldn't be. But that was, what else can you do? You move on. You try to wash the filthy taste of the series out of your mouth, and you got to win the series against the A's. You already lost to a subpar team last weekend in the White Sox. Lost that series. Like, I can listen to explanations about why it's a bad matchup against the Yankees. They got swept against the Yankees. Nothing to be ashamed of there. No, I still think they should have won a game, but they got beat by a better team. They lost the series to the White Sox. The White Sox were improved, but they're not a better team. And the A's have some very impressive young talent. They sure do, but they are not a better team than the Royals. And the series is in Kansas City. And you have to win this series. But now there's pressure. Because now you're and you look in the standings and you're under 500. And that really sucks. And so I don't know. I mean, we keep pointing to things like, oh, this will wake them up. That'll wake them up. Oh, they called Caglione up. This will inject life into the lineup. This happened, that happened. It's the same thing over and over again. And most of it's not good. And it sucks that they wasted that pitching last night. But maybe that's a good sign of things to come for Seth Lugo, right? Because I said Cole Reagan's, he's on the 15-day IL, and it's going to be a while. On Thursday, Matt Gutierrez said that further tests results confirmed a strain in the shoulder, in the left shoulder. The team does not think it will require surgery, but Reagan's will be shut down from throwing for a while, and he will receive a second opinion next week, which will help the Royals determine exactly how long the shutdown will be. But it's going to be, I mean, you could start with 4 to 6 weeks and go from there. And it won't be 4 to 6 weeks. It's going to be longer than that. And so they have to find a way to turn things around without the guy that they thought would be their ace going into the season. And like you said, that's a punch in the gut as well. We'll take a break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Frustrating, yeah. I mean, you guys have heard me say it a lot. We come out here to win every night, and when you don't, you go home annoyed, frustrated, pissed off, whatever the right adjective is.
How much time we have here? Welcome back to New Day with SSJ. Let's listen to a little bit of Vinny Pasquantino, who has actually been on fire for a while now. All of May and into June, he extended his hitting streak to 12 games last night. And so here is Vinny Pasquantino in the clubhouse after the Royals lose 1-0 to the New York Yankees last night and get swept at home by New York. That was a very brief interview with Vinny Pasquantino. I thought he'd have more to say than that.
How it transpired?
Got my glove on it. Ball's behind me. Tried to go get it. Threw to first. I haven't gone back and looked at it, but probably should have held on to it and just thought there was a play to be made at first. And you know, once I threw it, I realized like, oh, he's already through the base. There is no play there. So, yeah, hindsight being 20/20. I wish I would have, turned and found the runner. I was just trying to make a play.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, obviously, in a short amount of time. But does the, Washington maybe being a little bit slower of a runner and play into, going to first?
Yeah, maybe. If it's a super speed guy, I know. I think it was one of those things where, in the moment, I was just kind of trying to make a play. There's no excuse for it. It was just kind of what happened. I grabbed the ball, turned. It's like, maybe. And, that's not a good enough answer. Like, we don't do this on maybe. So it's got to be better than that and, slow the game down when plays like that happen.
Overall, what was the biggest takeaway from this series facing the Yankees, and with it being the team that you guys want to be battling with in the postseason? What can you guys do to learn from these 3 games?
We need to score more runs. If you don't score, it's really hard to win. And when pitchers are putting up 1s and 2s, like, that should be enough for us to win games. So the biggest thing to learn is that we're not where we want to be right now. That's it. I mean, it's just I could give you a bunch of bullshit cliches, and it's just the truth of it. Like, we need to be doing better, and we're not right now. It doesn't mean we're not working on it. It doesn't mean we don't care. It just means it's not happening the way we want right now. We've got another opportunity tomorrow night, though. That series sucked. Plain and simple. Lugo was unbelievable tonight, and we gave him nothing. So we just simply have to be better.
We keep bringing it up, but runners in scoring position seemed like it came up quite a bit again this series. I mean, is that a weight on this team right now?
Yeah, I think it is actually becoming a weight. And, I probably shouldn't say that, but yeah, when there's a guy out in runners in scoring position, like, when you get up to the plate, you really want to get him in. And we don't have an answer to solve that right now. at least we haven't up to this point. Hopefully there's more opportunities tomorrow, and hopefully we cash in on those opportunities. You know, like runners in scoring position is one of those things. Like you want to play the long game with it because it's such a small sample. Not to sound like too much of a nerd, but like, you know, say you go over 20 and then you go 5 for your next 10, like you're doing okay, and then you go 5 for your next 10, like it can flip really quick. So we just need to do a better job. I think the one thing, you know, you never want to give a team that just beat you too much credit, but you just watch the at-bats and how they approach their bats and how they just, you know, they make the pitchers grind it out. We just got to do a better job of that. Find a way to get that extra 90, find a way to score somebody. And it's tough. Like it's a whole bunch of range of emotions, anger, sadness. Like you want to get the job done, and right now we're not. And it's all across the board. It's not one guy. It's not. It's everybody. We all gotta pick up our weight and find a way to, you know, put some runs on the scoreboard.
Wow.
A lot there, right?
Oh my! How much do you love Vinny?
Very much, because I don't know if you're aware of this, Stan. Tuesday, Bluma cussed on the show. Wednesday, Boddicker cussed on the show. Thursday, Gary Dieter cursed on the show. And we thought, like, okay, I'm looking at this. I know Stan won't. I don't think Pete Sweeney will. Grunhard might. And so to continue the stretch, we were going to look at maybe Grunhard. We got to watch it. Vinny Pasquantino took care of that.
Did you
4
have
days in a row.
Did you have Vinny listed down in your bet? You know, when you did the little lotto, or
no? Nope.
Well, speaking of Tim Grunhard, I will say this is very relevant. That locker room sounded like a football game. The background, the quietness, the reporters whispering the questions with respect, like they lost a football game. That is very cool that the Royals are taking it that seriously, because it's baseball. It's 162. They're supposed to move on. But they had an intensity that made me it reminded me when Grunhard said, "I'll take the bat and poke it up someone's butt if
not
they."
Real happy with
That's
it.
not what he said. You know,
not happy at all. And I'll make sure that if I see anybody quitting or putting their head down or stick a bat up their ass.
That was actually just last week here in the hallways of Union Broadcast.
Does that count for him cussing?
Sure.
Are we? Is that
Right.
that's not far enough?
When Jake
you can say ass.
said we
Okay.
have post-game from Quatrero, Nick Lofton, Seth Lugo, and Vinny. That's okay, Vinny. I mean,
Yeah, right.
No, next question. Because I will tell you this, and you hear this, he gets pissed off.
Yeah.
There's no there's no hiding his emotion, and that
He
wasn't
cares.
that wasn't just losing a game. They just got swept by the Yankees, and he was involved in the play that lost the game. And you heard him. And what did he say? Yeah, there's maybe I shouldn't say this, but there's some weight to it. When we go up there, we're not coming through with runners in scoring position. There's pressure. He's admitting it. That's all, and he's right.
And a fielding play. He said in the moment, but like no excuses.
Right.
We care about the results.
He shouldn't have thrown it to first. There was not a play at first.
But his accuracy. I mean, he hit everything. His accuracy was like Steve Spagnuolo. His emotion was like Tim Grunhard.
Vinny Pasquantino dropping the BS right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.